Hi. Welcome. How to stop? Welcome, guys. Trying to type our topic. Um, welcome, guys. Good evening. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Ashaketo Pretty Hindu D. Welcome, guys. Let's wait for a couple more people. Hi. HR2 Do. If I'm pronouncing that right, I think so. Hello. Yes, thank you. You're welcome. Alright, today we're going to be talking about something that I know a lot of people struggle with, which is between Alaya Hadassa, hi. Between stress eating, binge eating, emotional eating. Basically, I think first it's a human problem, and I think almost everybody has probably gone through it at some point in time. Whether everything can be going right, you've meal prepped, you've done every single thing that you're supposed to do, but then something happens. You just end up find yourself taking ice cream, or find yourself eating one meat pie, or one slice of pizza, and you're asking yourself, how did it happen? Or drinking a bottle of Coke. And you literally don't understand how it happened, but literally you're there and you start feeling bad after you have eaten it. But it has passed, you've done, the deal has been done, and then you start beating yourself up. But basically, I'm just going to be going through how to break the cycle, and how to do these things sustainably, because in the end, many people are trying to lose weight, many people are trying to eat healthy, but one very, very key part of doing that is the consistency. That means being able to continually do it for a very long period of time, basically for the rest of your life, right? So how do you consistently eat healthy, and how do you consistently stay on the right track to achieve your weight loss goals? Before we go on, yes, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Odunayo Abdullahi, and I am the face behind Optimum Foodie. I am a nutritionist. I'm also a pharmacist, and I love teaching about food. I love helping people heal their relationship with food. Food is not the enemy. I'm always preaching that food is your friend, but basically I'm helping you realize how food can be your friend, and how you can use food to achieve your goals, your health goals, your body goals, whatever it is. You're trying to lose weight, you're trying to flatten your belly, you're trying to work on your arms. Food will help you get there, and I'm in the business of helping you, learn how to do that, basically. All right. So, I said 5 points, right? I don't know how many points I have. I just have points, and I'm just going to go through them one by one. But basically, the very first one, and for me, this is like the most important one, is that you need to stop dieting. Right? If you're somebody, you keep diet. If you're somebody that, yes, they call it yo-yo dieting. That means you diet, you lose 2, 3, 5 kg, and then only for you to go and gain it all back. There's something you're doing wrong. Most likely you are dieting. And what I mean by that is you're probably doing something that is too restrictive. Maybe you've gone all the way to even do something that you're probably even removing an entire class of food. Maybe you've decided to completely stop eating carbs. This works for some people, but you need to listen to your own body. That's not what your body wants. You struggle. Some people do very, very well on like keto diet, for example, and they're completely fine. And some people just don't. Some people end up doing it, and then they go and binge on stuff they're not supposed to eat, because you as a person probably thrive on carbs. So depriving your body of it just makes it want it more. And then finally you end up in a situation whereby you've gone to go and eat what you don't want to eat, or what you don't plan on eating, basically. Now, and when I say don't diet, I'm asking you to actually eat. As I said earlier, food is not the enemy. You actually need to eat. so that you can stop overeating, if that makes any sense. But basically, what should you now eat, right? Eat whole foods. Try as much as possible to ensure that you're eating foods that are actually providing your body more than just carbs or more than just fat. So things that have extra nutrients. See, most of the times when people that get hungry very easily and they're wondering why, I just ate and I'm hungry, I just ate and I'm hungry, and they're constantly craving, it's because you've not given your body what it needs, right? Because most likely you're feeding your body with poor food, you're feeding your body junk. So if what you're feeding your body most of the time is random snacks here and there, meat pie, what you eat in morning, gala and coke, in the afternoon you eat all meat pie or plantain chips, basically you're not providing your body with any nutrients. So despite the fact that you're actually eating something, that means, simply speaking, there's food in your stomach, right? But your body is still starving. Your body is starving of nutrients. So because you haven't given it what it really needs, it continually asks for food. Okay? Because you're lacking all the vitamins you're supposed to get in it, all the minerals, all the phytonutrients, all the awesome things that your body actually needs. Because what you're currently eating isn't giving your body that thing, guess what? You're going to be constantly hungry. Every time your body is going to continue asking for food. It's not that it doesn't what it needs is not calories, right? Calories are good. Those ones are there. You keep feeding it that. But it is starving of nutrients. And until you give it those nutrients, guess what? It's going to continually ask for food. And this is not even under your own control. Your body controls where your hunger and all those things. It will continually ask for food. And then you will then continually end up eating and eating. Alright? So when I say whole foods, you're trying as much as possible, you're eating less processed food. So as much as possible, you're eating things that, that are actual food. Basically, things that were cooked, things that less processed, basically. Less junk. That is basically what defines junk. Junk, for me, anything that is overly rich in carbs, in fat, and salt. So carbs, sugar, fat, salt. Most of the time carbs are usually rich in these three things, or any of a combination of them. So basically, if you're trying to ensure that, okay, fine, you're eating your vegetables, you're eating your fruits, you're including these things in your diet, and I'm telling you, at least 50% of my clients, most of the time, between 1 to 2 weeks of the program, they're always like, I can't eat as much as I used to eat before. And that's because that's your body's response to saying, finally, you have given us what we want. Now, your body then kind of regulates itself. And then all of a sudden, you just can't eat as much as you used to eat before. All of a sudden, the terrible cravings that you're having will automatically also reduce. Those things will just start falling in place. Okay? So the first step to actually reducing cravings is to eat healthy, is to actually put all these awesome nutrients in your body. Use calorie high. Alright? So one of the first things that you should start doing, I call this crowding out. And what do I mean by crowding out? Basically, don't now we're not necessarily trying to remove certain things. Of course, we want to completely remove things like that, pure sugar, for example. Things like Coke and drinks that offer you absolutely nothing but sugar. By all means, you should remove those. But then again, let's even keep it simple. Your target right now should just be to include more healthy things, right? Now, let's not even bother about the calories just yet. Let's not bother about, whether you're losing weight or not losing weight. Let's just get you to a point where you're actually feeding your body the things that it needs to be fed. Such that now, every day, you're ensuring that you're eating at least 3 fruits. Every day, you're ensuring that at least in 2 of your meals, you're including some kind of vegetable. For you, a salad, you're putting something there every day. Just do that for the next 1-2 weeks and see how you feel. Don't bother about the calories. Don't climb a scale. Don't bother checking. Just notice. Alright? Just notice the fact that, number one, your cravings will reduce. Just pay attention. Your cravings will reduce. You're going to begin to feel better. And guess what? You will start eating less of those foods that you shouldn't be eating. Naturally, you just realize that it's not doing you to go and buy those things anymore. It's not doing you to go and eat those things anymore. Okay? Basically, because you're bringing in the good stuff, it just expels the bad stuff by itself in a way. Alright? So that's going to be my number one. I know it's counterintuitive because I mean the point of trying to reduce cravings is like I need healthy. But on the other side, so you need to actually eat healthy to eliminate those cravings. Because many of times those cravings is just a way of your body screaming for nutrients that you are not giving it. Alright? And I said earlier, I don't do anything, crazy. Many times people go on very extreme diets, but then because it's so extreme, you end up, missing a lot of things that you used to eat before. And then when you now go and eat those things, you end up overeating it. And then because you've now overeaten, you now feel bad and you feel sad. And then you feel like you need to fix it and you need to repair this overeating that you've done. Then you now go ahead again and do the dieting again, terrible dieting, maybe 3-day kind of, one shocking thing. I don't know. People do crazy stuff. And then it's like a cycle, alright? Basically, you diet, then because you dieted, you now miss foods that you like, then you now end up overeating the foods that you like. But because you've overeaten those foods now you're sad and you're beating yourself up, you're telling yourself what's wrong with you, why did you do that? Now you need to fix it. Now in the process of trying to fix it, you're fixing it and, includes dieting. So you diet again. But then because you're dieting, you end up missing foods and end up overeating. So basically, you're just going round and round in circles. Alright, so the solution is not for you to diet. The solution is for you to actually eat. Alright, but the question is, what are you eating? Right? I said earlier, you don't need to exclude any food groups. If you love your carbs, eat your carbs. All your food groups, of course, fruits, vegetables, protein, they're not negotiable. Even your fats. Fats are also very, very important to help you stay full. It's just that you need very small. Many of us are taking too much. You need just small of it, but they play their very, very, very important roles. Alright, so that's my number 1 point. My number 2 point is hey Fisher, what's up? Hi. Alright, so my second point is you made it today, yes you should, is in asking yourself whenever you're hungry, right? Whenever you actually feel like going to eat something, you need to distinguish. You need to ask yourself, is it physical or is it emotional? So if you're hungry, how do you know if it's physical? If you go and drink water, for example, and then the hunger doesn't go away, you can feel that rumble in your tummy. You can probably even feel a little burning, and you drink water, you wait a little while, you drink water, it doesn't go away, then most likely it's actual hunger. And guess what? Please go and eat. But of course, ensure that what you're eating is actually healthy, right? It's actually healthy, including mostly vegetables. If you're going to include a carb, include a little carb, include a fruit if you want. But basically, if you are indeed hungry, then go and eat. Okay, don't starve yourself, right? But then if you actually drink water, right, or you wait a while, and that whatever that rumble in your tummy, whatever feeling that made you feel you were hungry, it disappears, then you need to accept the fact that you were actually not hungry. You're probably just bored. Number one, is either you're bored. I think you can ask yourself is, if it's not boredom, then what is it? Most of the time when you're craving something, you're craving food, your body is actually craving something, but it's just that you're using food to settle that craving. And sometimes, guess what, it can be loneliness. All you might need to do is try to call somebody up and talk to somebody. It can be that simple, right? It can be as simple as you listening to music that you love, some kind of music that can change your mood and you completely forget about that thing you were thinking of eating, right? So you need to ask yourself, what is it that you really, it has to accept that you need to, right? Sometimes you're just not hungry, sometimes you're just bored, and if you're bored, look for something that can distract you. Look for something interesting. There's so many things that are more interesting than food, right? What's the point of eating food that you don't need? Food that is just going to be extra calories, food that you are not going to feel bad about eating after you eat it, right? There's so many other things you could do. If he's watching a movie, if he's talking to somebody, if he's taking a stroll, if it is pressing your phone, whatever it is, find something that is more interesting than food at that moment, because the truth is you're not hungry. And in as much as I always say food is supposed to be, minus the fact that it provides us nutrition and all the health benefits and all, it's also something that we enjoy doing, right? Food is supposed to be an enjoyable experience as well, all right? But fundamentally, it is supposed to provide you nutrients and energy. And if at that moment your body doesn't need the nutrients or the energy, then don't eat it. You can't just be eating food because it is nice to eat it, right? That's how you get fat. End of story. All right. So ask yourself what it is you need. If you're bored, distract yourself. If you're feeling lonely, call somebody. Do something. Take a walk. I don't know. Go and if you're at work, I don't know. Go and say hi to your colleague that is beside you or is on another, I don't know, department. I'd just go and do something else. But don't eat the food, right? There's so many emotions that we use food to respond to. Sometimes it might be sad, right? You might be depressed, you might be, but for me, I know walking. Sissy, hear me. Hi, thank you for joining. I'm screaming, yeah. All right, so it can be food. It can basically it might be sadness. You might just, as I said earlier, talking to somebody for me works a lot. I can call somebody. Maybe it can even be somebody that I haven't spoken to in a while. But because I've not spoken to that person in a while, it's also a form of distraction, yeah? Basically, because I've not spoken to that person in a while, I can just, you end up talking for a while and gisting and whatever, and you just realize that the craving disappears, right? So that's another thing you can do. No, but another thing you can do is wait it out. You might feel like, no, it's impossible. I need to go and have that meat pie, or I need to go and have that cake, or I need to go and have that whatever that it is. Wait it out. So try first. Tell yourself, I'm going to wait for 1 minute. Right? After 1 minute, tell yourself again, let's see what happens in 5 minutes. You can overcome it. I know, and the truth is, once you see that you can do it, even if it's just once, you see that you can do it, you can continue repeating it and doing it over and over again. All right? So if the reason for your craving is not food, then you need to tackle the reason behind the craving. As I said earlier, it can be a bunch of emotional reasons or whatever reasons that it is, but you need to figure out what the matter is and find a different solution that's not food. Because in the end, you need to remember that food is a very temporary solution. Once you finish eating that food in the next 1-2 minutes, you're going to get back to feeling whatever you were feeling before. But the only unfortunate truth is that after eating now, you've added 200, 300 calories plus the problem you had before. Food does not solve the problem. It doesn't. All right. So before you go on and just eat, just ask yourself a few questions. What is it that I'm feeling right now? What do I really, really want? Or what do I really, really need? Because the truth is, most likely no food, right? I said earlier, except if it's hunger. So do the water test. If you're still really hungry, if you still feel the symptoms of hunger, then go ahead and eat, right? But if the feeling goes away, then you need to figure something else out. It's not food, right? So we talked about distracting yourself. We talked about delaying it. Sometimes all you need to do is accept it. I feel like eating something right now, but I'm going to let it pass. And tell yourself, basically, positive affirmations. The feeling is going to go away, and guess what? It will go away. It does. It will get very intense. It's like a curve. Slow. It gets to the climax where you really feel like, no, I really need to eat this thing. And guess what? It will just go down and disappear, like it was never there, right? But distraction really, really works for me. Anything. If you need to scroll through Instagram, hopefully when you're scrolling through Instagram, you don't end up actually, being faced with what you're actually running away from in somebody's feed. That can be annoying. But anyways, you get the point. So that's one. Another thing that you can do, especially for people who have a very, very serious problem with binge eating, is keeping a diary. Now, what this diary does, like a kind of food journal, a food mood journal. So basically, every time you feel like eating something, ask yourself these questions. What were you doing? Right, at that moment when you felt like going to go eat something, what were you doing? Who was around you? Who were you talking to? Where were you? If you keep doing this, whenever you feel that strong craving coming on, and you ask yourself these questions, you write it down, you begin to see a particular pattern emerge. For some people, it might be maybe somebody just there's a particular situation that causes you stress, and whenever you feel that stress, you feel like eating. You need to basically find your trigger. All right, there are certain things that might be responsible for you feeling like going to eat something even though you actually don't need food. It might be a stressful situation. It might be a particular place. As I said earlier, it might be as simple as loneliness. You just realize that every single time you felt like doing that thing, you were lonely. Now, many times I find myself very alone. Many times I'm just home alone, right? And the truth is, loneliness, boredom, you can easily turn to food. All of a sudden, food seems interesting, right? But as I said earlier, you need to find something more interesting. But if you know that the issue is boredom, or you know that the issue is loneliness, then you can find a solution. As I said earlier, you can go and visit somebody, call somebody, whatever you need to do. Take a walk out of the house, or take a stroll around the office, or whatever it is, right? But basically, find your trigger. It might be a particular situation that you keep finding yourself in that causes stress whenever you find yourself in that situation. But you need to own it. All right, find out what it is, and accept that, okay, this is where the problem is coming from. It's either I saw, or maybe it's something that you see. Maybe it's whenever you're scrolling through Instagram and you see a particular food, or a particular friend of yours brings a particular food near you, something. All right, whatever it is, find it, and then when you know what it is, then you can now start bringing up creative solutions to solve the problem. Cynthia, what's up? You can now start bringing, finding solutions to solve the problem, right? Another thing that I definitely want to do is to remove the temptation. I mean, there's no point in saying you're fighting cravings, and when I open your fridge, you have everything you're running away from is inside your fridge. Today I experienced boredom today with food. So this afternoon I had spaghetti, yeah, and then I was working and I just felt like eating something, right? My first cue was to go and take more spaghetti. That's the truth. I wanted to go and take more spaghetti, but then I remember I opened my fridge, and yeah, there was pawpaw, so I ate that instead, right? And after the pawpaw, that was it. I didn't feel like spaghetti anymore. Why? Because it's not like I was really hungry. I was just bored, and I'm just happy that the pawpaw was there, and I could easily eat that. I mean, it could have been a different story if I opened my fridge and there was Coke, and there was, I don't know, there was chocolate, there was something I should necessarily not be eating. If that was what was there instead, then there would have been a problem. 1 second. I need to put my modem on. Okay, so basically, you need to stock and keep healthy stuff around you rather than stuff that you're running away from. Very, very important. I know that it's harder when depending. So, for example, you're sharing a house with people, maybe your family, your friends, whoever it is, and they are buying stuff, right? And they're putting it in the fridge. I mean, there's going to be only one fridge in the house. People are not going to have separate fridges, right? And it becomes tougher in those kind of situations because they are buying stuff, they are putting it there, and now you're facing it every time you open the fridge. It becomes a lot harder. But what you can do in those situations, and what's more important for you to do in that situation, is to actually have healthy stuff in the fridge. It's one of two things. Either you open your fridge and there's absolutely nothing for you to eat, or you open your fridge and there's healthy stuff, which is the most ideal thing, right? There's some fruits there for you to eat. Fantastic. Or you open it and there's no healthy stuff, there's only the junk that you're running away from. Or you open your fridge and there's a combination. All right. So if you're in a situation where you can't necessarily control what enters the fridge all the time, just ensure that the stuff that you want to be eating more of, ensure that it's in there. So at least when you now open the fridge, you now have a choice, right? At least you can now choose to pick watermelon instead, or you can now decide to choose and pick pawpaw, even though the Coke is there. But it's a different thing if there's only Coke there. Then now you have only one choice, right? It's either you are strong enough to close the fridge and walk away, or you just end up drinking Coke, right? So it's very, very important that you're keeping good stuff in your fridge or around you. And it doesn't even have to be in your fridge. If it's apples that you throw inside your bag, or oranges or something, Ziploc bags are awesome because you can throw stuff into them and put them inside your handbag, right? You can slice apples. Yeah, you don't need slice apples. I'm talking about oranges. So basically, I'm always lazy to peel the skin of oranges. So literally, I just wash it and I divide it into 4, and I drink it like wedges. And you can throw that into a Ziploc bag and carry that around, yeah. Or and then when agbalumo was in season, agbalumo is also something you can throw into Ziploc bags, right? So they are basically So there's so many things that you can put in your bag just so that to reduce the cravings, right? And meal prepping, very, very important. There are so many times that people around you will be eating stuff that you necessarily don't want to eat. But then, if you have planned your own meal, if you have your own lunch that is waiting for you, then it's easier for you to, basically, that's another method of distraction. That's what I used to do then. There was a time when I was in paid employment, basically, almost every week, we would have food come when companies come and do presentations, right? But how I used to console myself, I'd remember the fantastic lunch that I prepared for my house, and I just keep that in my head. Like, okay, my own lunch is waiting for me, my own lunch is waiting for me. And then I used to give away my drink. It was hard at first, but then later it became easier because I just stopped fancying it. Literally, like the drink stopped. It wasn't a big deal anymore. But before, first to give it out, I used to give it out because I didn't want temptation to drink it later. So literally, when they give us, I'll just give it out straight up, and that will be the end. I know, I'm not drinking it. That's it. It was hard and it was painful, in the beginning. But as my body started to heal, as I started to feed myself, as I said earlier in the beginning, when you begin to feed yourself the right nutrients going on. Okay. So basically the cravings and the need for, oh, my modem died. I see what happened now. I don't even understand these things. It's supposed to be fully charged. So basically the need for the sugar and the, and the malt and stuff just wasn't there anymore, and giving out my drinks just became not a big deal. Really, that's just it was no longer a big deal. Life can just become easier if you start including the good stuff into your life, right? Very, very important. All these other things that I've said, they're like secondary tactics. The primary number one tactic to stop binge eating, to stop cravings, is to feed yourself with the nutrients that your body needs. Your body loves you. That's the truth. And when it's telling you to do something, when your body is, craving for something, when it's asking for food, when it's asking for things, it's one or two things. It's either because you are starving it of something that it actually needs, all right. And most of the time, your body is asking you for food. Trust me, it's most likely not asking you for chocolate, or for ice cream. Alright, your body is asking you for the good stuff that you're not giving it, the fruits and vegetables that you're barely eating. Alright, that's what it's asking you for. Okay, if you begin to include that, like I said in the beginning, you're trying including at least 2 to 3 fruits every day. At least in 2 of your meals, you're putting in good amounts of vegetables. Do that consistently. I'm telling you, the cravings will naturally go away, and every other thing will just start falling into place. You just realize that you can't eat as much as you used to eat before. The number of times that you're craving for the junk food will reduce. Now, I'm not saying that you need to completely stop eating ice cream or you should completely stop eating pizza. That's not what we're talking about here. But the issue is, we're saying a lot of people can't stop themselves from having these things, and then they're having it too many times, and they're having too much at the same time. Basically, what you want is to have the power to say, you know what, today I'm going to have ice cream and it is okay. You have the power now to decide how much ice cream you want, and when you're going to have it, and you are not going to feel guilty about it. The problem with binge eating is many times you end up having the ice cream, having too much, you're barely able to control yourself, because many times you binge eating, you're actually full, but you continue eating, right? You continue eating, and then you feel bad. That's always the annoying. That's one of the very classic things. The part of you feeling bad for doing it. Alright? And that's what we want to end. You can have ice cream and not feel bad. You can have ice cream and still reach your weight loss goal. Right? So it's how do you get to that point where you have control over your cravings, you have control over food. It's not the other way around. It's not food that is controlling you. Right? And you will only get to that point when you begin to treat your body right, when you begin to basically accept your body the way it is right now, but respect it, right? It's just the same way if you want a plant to grow, we give it fertilizers, and we Sakura Puff cannot go. Dude, I've not had puff in a while. Goodness. I have puff off in the ages. Good puff off. And that's the funny thing. There are not many things that I crave, funny enough. I just enjoy Tyrant. Hey, we've gone a long way. If you, I'll put the replay up, so please watch the replay. Alright, so basically, I don't know. I can't really. I know a lot of people that have been addicted to Coke before, and now they are not. It's not because. It's because they just started doing the right things, and all of a sudden the Coke just stopped being so attractive, and slowly, from 4 bottles a day to 3 bottles a day to 2 to, to, I can't remember when last I drank Coke. And the days that they drink the Coke, they drink it. They don't feel like they need to drink 3 bottles. They drink the 1 bottle and they are fine, and they don't know when next they're going to drink it, and it's okay. So that is like the goal, to be able to get to that point where you're able to control what happens, how you feel when you eat food, and not having the food control you. All right. So basically, I think I have one last point. Reducing stress. Now, generally, stress is one of the things that will naturally increase your cravings. Basically, because this stress, food has a way of comforting people. But as I said earlier, remember, it's temporary comfort. It doesn't last long, right? But it's a temporary comfort. And whenever you're stressed, you're looking for a way to distress, right? But then many people turn to food. So the goal is, how do you distress, with other things? One of the very first things is normally when you're just in planning. When things are just going crazy and you feel like you can barely breathe. Now, a lot of things I'm going to say are going to sound cliche. They're going to sound like things that we already know. But the truth is, we know many things. In fact, many of the things I'm even saying right now, you probably know it. And you probably don't even need to be hearing it again. But our problem is that we don't do it. We know many things, but we're not doing any of them. And instead of doing what we already know, we're waiting for somebody to come and tell us something else when we haven't started doing the one that we know. Alright, it's a different thing if you've done it and it didn't work. But the truth is, 80% of what you know, you have not practiced it. I'm not talking about just you, I'm talking about me too. It's like, I don't know, it's like a human thing. And then we go on and keep looking for extra knowledge. When if we just do the one that we know, literally we will solve our problem. Literally. That said, distressing. Now I'm saying this because these things happen to me. A lot of these things, which I said, it sounds cliche, it's things that I've heard, but I realized I'd never really been doing them. And I'm telling you, once I started doing them, my life has just been so much. I used to have a lot of anxiety. Oh my god. I have a friend that has really helped me this. She's a doctor at Adroit Medic. When I say anxiety, like, I'll just start freaking out for the smallest things. I'll first is like my first response is to freak out. Then after I freak out, I'll be like, I'll calm down, realize, okay, it's not that bad. All right. And I needed to stop doing that. Right. I was always I can panic. I can panic for Africa. Like, oh my god. There used to be a lot of oh my god coming out from my mouth, right? Well, basically now, whenever a situation happens, I'm telling you, I take a deep breath. I just clear my head. Then I actually ask myself some very, very simple questions. Hey, Shitu, this matter, like, to be sincere, what's the worst case scenario on this matter right now? So XYZ has happened. What is the worst case scenario? That if things go bad, what's the worst that will happen? After accepting that, okay, this is worst that will happen, if this happens, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to this person? Basically, first accept the worst case scenario, right? And then, okay, what can I do about it before I even get to that? Because many of the times, the truth is, even the worst case scenario is really not that bad. No, I'm not talking about generally, I'm talking about most of the time. If you sit down and think about it, the worst case scenario, the thing that you're scared of happening, okay, fine, oh yeah, it has happened, you will be fine. You'll be fine. Your face will be fine. So in those moments, now I just always remind myself of times when I really, really thought things were going to be bad, and then I remember that, guess what? It worked out. Most of the time. It works out. You don't know how, but keep reminding yourself that you will work out, and just that self, that positive acclamation in your mind that you work out, it helps a lot. Tired high, it helps a lot. Fine, everything can look scattered, everything. If you're, I don't know what faith you are, but just believe, you believe in God, just knowing that somehow God is going to fix it. You don't have to know how. Of course, it's now, you will now also sit down and say, okay, fine, what can I do to prevent the worst case scenario? What actions can I put into plan? See, action brings, it distresses you. Firstly, planning. Sometimes when you just have too many things in your head and everything is just going, you are not yet sure, it's just moving in your head, take paper and write it down. That really works for me. Okay, so I have a photo shoot. It's breaking. You can watch the replay. It's going to be up on my page, so you can watch the replay. Right? So basically, I have a photo shoot coming up, and there's a lot of moving parts to the shoot. And I realized that somewhere under my mind, it was stressing me, but I didn't realize that it was stressing me. And the reason it was stressing was because I had not yet figured out how we're going to basically do it. There's a lot of changing. There's just a lot of things that I had not really figured out. And that's nice. I just vexed and I carried paper and I started writing stuff down. And I have not thought about that shoot at all, because I finally have a plan. And because I have that plan, my subconscious is not worrying about it. So that's like one thing less that is just off me, just because I took paper and I just wrote stuff down. And now I know that, okay, now I have a plan. And now I know, okay, fine, now everything is going to be fine. Things might still happen on that day, of course. There's nothing that says everything's going to go 100% like I'm planning it. But at least I know that now I have something on ground that I can work with. And it's comforting. Alright? That's one for me. If you need to write stuff down, write stuff down. Know that things will be fine somehow. It might not go the way that you want it to go. But if you truly work on your faith with, I don't know, whatever you believe in, just believe that somehow, even if it doesn't work the way you want it to work out, it's going to work out somehow, and that's how God wanted it to work out. Alright? Truly believing in that. I'm not saying that it's easy. That's the relationship between you and your God. But it really helps in distressing. Another thing is, remember moments or times when you really thought things were going to be, that this is the end. This is, like the worst thing was going to happen, and you really thought this was like the end for you. Right? And guess what? And it worked out. So whenever you're in those panic states too, remember those times. Remember how it worked out, and have faith that it will work out again, just like it worked out that time. Right? And my last one is ask for help. Oh my God, I can be terrible at asking for help. I don't know where I got it from. I don't know what it is, but I am terrible at asking for help. So I don't realize that I do need help. And sometimes asking for help just removes all the wahala, because many times you think you're trying to do too many things, and unfortunately you might not realize that it's stressing you. Sometimes it's just like the photo shoot, as I said, it wasn't really in my main consciousness, but it was just in my subconscious. I just knew something was on my mind, something was disturbing me, and I just finally realized that yes, this shoot is part of my problem. There's some other things, but I'm like, this particular shoot, yes, it's part of the things that I have not sat down and really figured out. I had a plan, right? But it was in my head. It wasn't well sought out yet. Alright, and that's what writing does. It helps you sort it out properly and make the plan proper and nice. And then, for me, it gives me a lot of comfort when I have a plan, right? So, ask for help when you need it. Whatever thing that you're doing, whatever you're going through, go look to your support system and ask for help. You are not superwoman, you are not superman. Ask for help. Because in the end, another thing asking for help just might be distressing you. Maybe something that was supposed to take you 1 week can take you 2 days because you asked for help. I think it's something in my eye. Right? So please, we need to remember to and basically learn to ask for help. I'm learning it. It's not easy, but if you realize that you're my kind of person that doesn't know how to ask for help, you need to learn how to. Very, very important. All right, so I'm just going to quickly go through like a summary of our steps. Number 1, nourish your body with the nutrients that you need. Ensure you're including your vegetables, your fruits, you're reducing your amount of processed foods in general, that you are, basically just focus on including more of the good food, and naturally you see that you start craving the junk food less and less, right? And then when cravings do come, ensure that you distinguish between physical hunger and emotional hunger. So you can do the water test. It'll tell you, wait a while, drink, if you feel hungry, drink some water immediately. If you wait a while after drinking the water, if you still feel hungry, if you still feel the symptoms of hunger, then you are likely hungry and you should actually eat something. But this number one rule then applies. Ensure you're eating whole foods. Ensure you're not eating processed. Don't go and eat plantain chips. Alright? Don't go and eat gala. It's not food. Alright? That's not what. You can have it once in a while because you're stuck, but that shouldn't be, it's not food. That shouldn't be your go-to thing to go and eat. Alright? I'd rather you go and find bully somewhere and buy one small bully and eat than buy gala and eat. Right? If that makes sense. Alright? Or you find 15-hour watermelon or pawpaw or orange around you, buy that instead, right? So that's number 2. Now, if you actually drink water, right, and the feeling goes away, yay! But basically, if you drink water and the feeling of hunger goes away, but you're still craving something, now you know that it's not physical hunger, it's not food your body needs. Your body needs something else. But then you're trying to use food, but you want to use food to replace it, or basically to satisfy that craving. And that craving might be that you're sad, it might be that you're lonely, it might be that you're bored, and many times you use food to solve all these emotional issues or problems. You need to find other things to do that. All right, either you're distracting yourself with music, or you go and watch something, or you let's go through Instagram, or you call somebody, or you walk up to somebody in your office and just have a small chat with that person. Whatever it is, plantain chips are lifesavers. Yes, they're lifesavers, but then they also have a lot of calories because they're fried. Like, it's ridiculous number of calories that are in those things. Alright, because it is fried. It's fried and dried. It's dried, so it's now it's smaller now, right? And then they're now fried. So basically, the amount of plantain chips you're eating, is small pack of plantain, is actually a lot of plantain. But because it's now dry, it looks small, and so it doesn't look that bad. But it's a lot more plantain than you would have eaten if you were eating the fresh thing. Yeah? And then they now fry it, so there's all the oil and all the necessary calories, right? So okay, so I was saying, figure out why you are actually feeling the craving. All right, it's most likely not because you're hungry, but basically look for another solution. And even if you're now going to eat, ensure that you're keeping healthy stuff around you so that you can eat that instead, right? So that at least, even instead of eating maybe 200 or 300 calories, maybe you end up eating maybe 60, 70, 80 calories, for example, if you picked a fruit, for example, right? And sometimes you can actually decide to eat that thing you're craving. Except, what, I'm not supposed to eat these plantain chips right now, but I badly want to eat it, and I cannot seem to stop myself from eating it. But decide on how much you're going to eat and stop. So I'm going to eat half of this pack. All right. Another thing that can help you is learn how to read nutritional labels, or you can ensure that you get my book. If you know how many calories are in it and that thing that you want to eat, okay, this is the number of calories that is in this thing. All right. And hopefully that can also help in maybe scaring you. By the time you turn and realize, oh my God, this is actually my entire lunch in calories that I'm about to snack on. Hopefully that can be another small barrier to, helping you think twice. Do I really want to eat this right now? And if you're going to go ahead, you decide, okay, you know what? I'm going to eat half. If I eat half, that way I'm eating maybe 200 calories instead of 400 calories. So basically, it's like a delay tactic in deciding, trying to stop yourself from eventually eating it. Khadija, hi. All right. So another one is, what do you call it now? Still the delay tactic. You literally just waiting it out. Just seeing time. Rosemary, hi. Minute after minute. Okay, try and wait 1 minute. See if the feeling goes away. Oh, it didn't go away. Wait another 5 minutes. Did it go away? It might work, it might not work. So basically, wait 5 minutes, you might realize, oh my god, feeling is gone, right? And if it doesn't go away, like I said earlier, you can accept, and go ahead and eat that thing. But then be conscious, and when you're eating it, take your time and eat it. One of the things that we're doing with binge eating is you're not even tasting your food, you're just gobbling it down. But taking your time to taste it actually helps you eat less. So if it's plantain chips you're chewing, take your time, chew it, enjoy it, swallow it. All right, don't don't rush it. Yeah, that's just the word. Don't rush it. Take your time and savour. If it's ice cream, take your time and keep it in your mouth and taste. Let your tongue savour every flavor inside before you swallow. You will eat less of it that way, trust me. Because when you're rushing, you finish. You would have gotten to the bottom of the bowl before you even realize what has happened when you rush. So you never want to rush your food. Okay, so I was going through my point. What else? Yes, and of course, I said earlier, keep the junk away from you, as far away from you as possible. Don't stock your fridge or keep the junk food around you. So a client of mine said her husband traveled, so he came back and of course bought a lot of stuff. And I'm like, see, if you like yourself, go and give it out. I'm not going to expect you to be Superman and all of a sudden be seeing boxes of chocolates all around your house, and somehow you will know Rosemary high and all of it, and somehow I'm not thinking you will not eat it. You need to give it out. It's hard, but it's easier for you to not eat chocolate when the chocolate is not staring you in the face. It's that simple. It's not rocket science, right? So if what you need to do is give it away, you better give it away. I'm not saying you should not have it at all. I mean, you keep the small you want to eat it, and don't feel guilty about eating it. Eat it, take a small amount, eat it, and that's it, and let it go. Just let the rest go. All right, because don't keep temptation around you. Adroit Medic, I just talked about you. Well, not just about minutes ago. Okay. All right, and then another one is keeping a food mood diary, basically in trying to find out what your what your trigger is whenever you're craving stuff or whenever you feel like binge eating, right? So at every moment you feel, have a small notebook. Literally, as I said earlier, many of us know stop up, don't do it. Get a book, right? Or if it's a notepad on your phone, ask yourself that moment when you felt like doing something, you felt like going to go and eat something even though you were not hungry. Ask yourself, what were you doing? Where were you? Who were you with? Who were you talking to? Right? You can add maybe what time of the day was it? Right? Ask yourself those questions. Is it a particular place that makes you feel a certain way? Is it a particular person that whenever you see and you talk to this person makes you feel stressed, or this person makes you feel sad, or this person makes you feel a certain emotion, and it's that emotion that is feeding the craving, right? Is it that whenever you realize that if by the time you're doing your journaling, day 1, day 2, day 3, 1 week, you begin to see patterns, right? I've collected some. Oh my days. No, this is the thing. You don't need to give it out because you have gotten to the point where you can control yourself. If I have chocolates in this house, for me it's fine. I have chocolates. I'm not going to now finish the box in one night because I have gotten to a place of self-control. Not self-control, but I've got to a place where it's not that big a deal to me anymore. It's just I'm not craving it. So I can go there, take one today, and I might not touch it again until 3 days time. Until 1 week's time. I can forget that it's there safe. But for you that you haven't gotten to that point yet, right? Then keep it away from you. Right? So it's not these rules are not for everybody. It depends on where you are in your journey. Right? So I was saying about the food mood diary, basically. Whatever it is, if you notice that whenever you felt like doing something, you felt a little lonely, you were alone, you mentally, emotionally felt alone, and that's why you felt like, distracting yourself by eating, then you need to fix your loneliness. As I said, but I don't know. I think the easiest thing is usually calling or chatting somebody up. That's usually, I think, the easiest way for you to connect to somebody, right? Yeah, and then the last point was in distressing, reducing your stress levels. And I said taking in whenever you are feeling anxious, whenever you're feeling like you're feeling all panicky and there's just too many things going on, write stuff down. Write down your plan, write down how you're going to make it work. Believe that things will work out. You don't have to know how it's going to work out, but believe that last it will work itself out, right? The same way it has worked itself out. So I'm sure there are many other times in your life where you thought it will not work out or where things didn't look good, but guess what? You're here, you're standing, you're alive, and you're fine, right? So the same way it worked out then, it's going to work out again. I need to believe that, right? And ask for help. If you need help, look around you and ask. People are lifesavers. All right, you have people around you that you can ask, and they can really it can go a very, very long way. Well, next pharmacy, hi. All right, where a small matter, basically a big matter, can become a small matter just because you spoke to somebody, just because you called somebody, and that person helped you figure it out. A simple example for me was something that I was going to do manually, and because I needed to do that thing manually, I had not started because it was just so much work, and truth is it was on my mind and it was just stressing me because I wasn't looking forward to it. And I randomly mentioned it to somebody, and guess what? There was a very simple technological solution. Basically, there was an app that I could use to solve my problem, and that was it. I didn't even know the person could help me. I just mentioned it out of frustration, right? And my solution was there. Something that was probably going to take me weeks. All right, and I've sorted it out for me. So just as they say, problem shared is a problem solved. All right, so just remember to ask. You never know, and help can come. As I said, I did not expect that person to be the one. It's not like the person is like a techie person like that. I don't know, but the person knew what to do, or the person knew about the app, and that was it, right? So distress. If you're constantly in a state of stress, you most likely would want to eat. And unfortunately, the more, especially if your diet right now is not in a good place, you will now be craving more of junk food. And the more junk food you crave and you eat, the more your cravings will increase because you are starving your body of nutrients that your body needs. And so your body will continually ask you for more food, even though it's not really asking you for food, it's asking you for nutrients. And those nutrients are bountiful in your fruits and your vegetables and your whole grains that you need to eat, right? So it's a cycle. That's why I said that number one rule is the primary solution. All these other things are their backup. If you don't get that number one right, if you don't start eating healthy, if you don't start including whole food, proper actual food into your diet, you can't win. You can't win. All these last strategies I'm saying, you will find them difficult to do. But once you started doing that, then these ones will come in once in a while to help support you. These other tactics will help to come support you, to come make it easier. All right, till you get to the point where you hopefully not need any of this anymore, and your body will just generally fix all these issues. Literally, your body is very smart and your body loves you. All right, and so it will, if you give it what it needs, it will fix you literally. It's simply having to cook my special diet and something different for other family members. That's always the sad thing. Sometimes it's difficult for you. The ideal thing is for you to actually cook the same thing for your family, right? And one of the easiest ways to do it. So, for example, now you're supposed to eat rice and efo. Rice and efo is something your family can eat. Rice and efo is something your family can eat. There is eba and okra. The only thing is, fine, you're most likely going to be cooking it with a lot less oil than maybe they are used to. All right, but guess what? They can like it too, and you need to also encourage them, because in the end, you don't want to be the only healthy one, right? You want your family to be healthy as well. You don't want to be eating all the vegetables and fruits, and then your family members are barely eating any, right? So in the end, you need to now start looking at the meals that you can quickly catch them on, right? So the other foods that people eat on a normal day, yam and egg. Everybody will eat yam and egg now. The question is, okay, how much yam are you eating? It's yam now. Then when you're frying the egg, how much oil are you using to fry the egg? Alright? If you decide to add lots of vegetables, decide to put a lot of tomatoes, a lot of carrots, a lot of green pepper inside the egg, you encourage them to eat it. But your family members can eat it along with you. There's actually no reason for you to cook very different meals. You eat bread and egg, they can eat bread and egg. You eat rice, you eat maybe it's not the days you decide to do fruit bowl. I don't know if they said they don't want football, but you know what, might not be that bad if you actually even suggest it. Sometimes I think we just feel like they are not going to want it, and then we don't even try, right? So try, right? So whatever your food options are, most of the times they're actually things that your family members can eat, except if, as I said, if your diet is all encompassing, you're including all the food groups, then it's easier for your family members to join you, right? Of course, if you start a diet where you're not eating any carbohydrates at all, then that makes it harder for you to invite more people, because they might just tell you, I'm not interested in not eating carbs, I want to eat my carbs. Then you might not be able to get them in with that. But if it's the diet that is very close to what they're eating, you're just modifying maybe how you cook it, you're modifying quantities, then it's easier, for them to be attracted to it. It's easier for you to encourage them to join you, right? All right, guys, I think we can call it a night. Thank you for joining me. Do we have questions? Now, I said earlier, in learning how to improve what you're eating and improve the quality of your food, because now it's not just quantity. Fine, your body needs you to eat a certain amount of calories, because your body needs calories, right, to function. For it, my talking, everything I'm doing, my breathing, I'm burning energy, right? I mean, my body does need calories, but at the same time, as much as part of those calories, it also needs all those awesome vitamins and nutrients and all right, and I need to give it that as well. So in learning how to bring all these things together and come up with meals that are not boring, that are interesting, even with the foods that you have, there's so many amazing things that you can do with it. People just feel like, Nigerian food is, what do we have? It's only rice that we have. The people say, Lonje Nigeria, we don't have food in Nigeria. That's what it means. They lie. We have food. Much goody high. We have food. All right, and there's so many interesting things that you can do with it. All you just need to know is, okay, just keep in mind your portions, ensuring, okay, I'm not doing too many carbs, I've included a lot of vegetables. Asking yourself, okay, what's my protein source, how do I want to mix it? I did giz dodo recently. Everybody knows giz dodo. What's the difference? My dodo, I grilled it instead of frying it, and that's how I solved the problem of calories. And then in the sauce, when you put the sauce, I put in I cut plenty carrots, green pepper, I poured inside, and then I used small oil. And it tasted fantastic. My gizzard, I boiled gizzard, and I poured it on fire and mixed it up. It was fun. It tasted awesome. Like, I'm going to make it again very soon, right? And I didn't overdo calories, and I still ended up including a lot of vegetables that I was able to ensure that I got all the nutrients that I needed. I got my protein from the gizzard. I had my carbs from my plantain, my roasted plantain, right? So it's not about saying goodbye to any food. You need to start asking yourself, how do I take this food and how do I make it healthy? Yeah, which is actually part of the things I'm going to be talking about on. So I'm going to be on Inspiration FM 92.3 tomorrow by 2 p.m. All right. So I don't know if you're available. If you're available, please tune in. So basically, I'm talking about how to make your food fun. Basically, how to make your food interesting while keeping it healthy. All right, your food doesn't have to be boring. I have big back. I want to lose the arm weight. My parents don't want me to use the gym. You don't necessarily need a gym. There are a lot of things exercise. At least for the exercise part, there's a lot of things you can do in your house. But then a lot of it is also tied to your diet. And see, there's nothing like sports reduction. If you want to lose weight in your arms, you can't lose weight in only your arms. you lose it in other places too. There's nothing like I want to lose weight in my arms and then you now go and do. It just doesn't work like that. The way your body burns fat from wherever it wants to burn it, and it burns it at different rates. So for example, you might want to start losing weight now, or losing fat in your arms, and then you realize that your stomach fat is going down faster than the arm, which was the reason why you actually even started the whole process in the first place. Your body has 100% control over that, right? The only thing that you can control is where you grow muscle. So of course, if you're doing more exercises around your arms, you grow more muscles around your arms, right? And then that can help get you a toner look in your arms, to reduce the flabbiness and help you look toned, while you're also burning the fat with your diet and the aerobics, right? But spot reduction is a myth, right? You wouldn't lose fat. Even when people would come and say, I want to lose belly fat. Yes, I have a program called Belly Trim. I have a program called Belly Blast. But the truth is, I always tell people, you will lose so to kg, right? And you will lose it everywhere, but at different rates. In fact, that's some people where somehow they don't even lose at all in certain places, and they lose a lot in some other places. But it's up to your body, and we're also different. Your body just decides where there's fat everywhere in your body, right? And your body just decides. When I was trying to add weight, which I'm right now, I kind of took a break. Because there's just so much going on, and it's actually difficult for me to put in the effort that I need to eat, the amount of times I need to eat per day. I need to eat at least 5 times a day, and it's been a very big struggle. So I took a pause. I'm taking a pause, I think, this month, because there's just so much going on with me and Optimum Foodie. So anyways, basically, where was I now? Okay. So basically, for people that want to lose in a certain place, or they are trying to, or gain, either way, I started getting my cheeks. That was like the very first place I started gaining weight, when I started gaining weight, right? My cheeks started coming out. What else? I think I added my bum too. Right? I always just add weight generally, because right now I'm like a size 6, and like I want to be like a size 8 at least, right? But basically, you can't choose. I know what is good to my cheeks. I don't want cheeks, right? But that's where the fat was going. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that one, right? So just accept that part. But can you work on your arms? Most definitely. A lot of people in the program have lost weight in their arms. You can, but just know that you likely lose from other places as well. Okay, so don't come in with the expectation to lose only your arms and then every other part of your body will stay the same. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. We wish that it could work like that, but it doesn't. Okay, guys, so I think we will call it a night. If you still have questions for me, you can send them to me via DM. I'm going to put up another review of my book. If you don't have it, basically it's now available in Isolo, and the person that is talking it is in Isolo at Wellnex Pharmacy. I don't know if she's still here. If you're here, please say hi. So if you're in Isolo, if you're in Oshodi, it's now available in a pharmacy there. Basically, she lost 14 kg with the book, and she has maintained it since last year. She has maintained it till now. Basically, she went to achieve her pre-baby body, and this helped. So if you read the book, if you follow the steps, basically you will learn how to create meals that are healthy, that are balanced, like I said earlier, all right, and ensuring that you're actually giving your body what it needs, and you'll be able to reduce your cravings and so on and so forth. Jeremy, hi, right? So if you don't have a copy, it's just 2,000. All right, you can order from us. There's ebook as well if you prefer ebook. Basically, the ebook and hard copy, they're the same thing. It's just that you have the ebook on your phone or on your system or your tablet or wherever it is that you want to have it, right? But if you're a hard copy person, the hard copy is also available, right? So we have a huge number of stores that you can get the book from, so just send us the message. We have stores outside Lagos as well, so we have in Abuja, Ogun State. Well, next time I'm going to put up your stuff soon. So I was saying Ondo, Delta, Kano, Enugu. We have stores in all these places, so just send us a message and we will send you their address and phone number, so you can go there to get yours, or you can order from us as well. All right, So if you are really, really ready to start figuring this healthy eating thing out, especially in the Nigerian environment, then you need this book. And I'm not saying that because I'm the author, I'm saying it because of how many lives that it has changed and will continue to change. Okay, hi, what's up? Right? Alright guys. So we're wrapping things up right now. Um the replay is going to I'm going to ensure that I put the replay up so you can definitely watch the replay. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, send me a message. We have programs for breastfeeding moms, for new moms, for for people who are not yet moms but they look like moms and they don't want to look like moms anymore. Whatever your goal is, basically, I'll be more than excited and happy to help you. Right? Good night, guys. Thank you for joining me. Bye.